summertime in Baton Rouge leading up to the flood, there was a lot of tension in our community.
Video of Tuesday morning's shooting outside the Triple S Food Mart in North Baton Rouge.
I was witnessing things that I never dreamed I would witness. The killings, the fighting.
This is really what sets the stage.
You stay on the front line.
There was a racial division. There was an economic division. A lot of people in the community just were afraid to leave their house. And then the flood came.
Historic flooding in Louisiana has claimed at least 7 lives. More than 11,000 people are staying in shelters this morning, and more than 20,000 have been rescued from rising water.
The week before all the flooding events, and I don't remember the app or maybe the Facebook thing that I get, it predicted a substantial amount of rain, but no one had an idea what was coming. No one prepared like you would for a hurricane. There's no need to. It's just going to rain. Nobody expected to be 76 inches of water in the yard.
This is the back of the house. We had to build a sandbag wall.
All of a sudden, everybody had something different to think about. So we got busy kind of trying to deal with that. There were boat rescues.
A group of Good Samaritans. They call themselves the Louisiana Cajun Navy, and they have been searching the flood zone with their own fishing boats.
The boats was important because, I mean, you go into a subdivision and literally the water line would be at the roof of the house. So you're looking at 10, 12, sometimes 15 foot of water. You really didn't want to get into the water over there. I mean, it was nasty. Not only did you have sewage and stuff floating there, you had everybody's trash, coffins. There was coffins floating around, just about everything you could think of. It was bad enough that one of the guys that was helping us ended up going to the hospital and having his leg amputated from the knee down from a staff that he got out of the water. Trying to determine the number of boats that was there, there's no way to do it. I mean, at that point, the Cajun Navy was everybody in a boat. Anybody and everybody who got in a boat was considered Cajun Navy.
There are several groups. You've got the Cajun Navy, which handled all the boat rescues, the Cajun Army, which has been boots on the ground, gutting homes, feeding people, supplies. You've got the Cajun Special Forces, which is, Kip Coltrane and his crew.
Everyone inside the flood zone that was doing without can't go to the store. Their vehicle flooded, so now they don't have a ride. They may not be able to get there if they had a ride because they may not be able to get through the water that's still cutting them off. So what we were able to do was collect outside the zone, then load it on our trucks, and it didn't matter. If we finished loading the truck at 10 o'clock at night, we jumped in it and came on. 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive. We would get to the drop point, unload immediately, and then do a turnaround and get back.
All right, I'm going to get right to the point here. We're trying to build a kind of a food service station area so that we can kind of have one centralized location for feeding volunteers.
Is this enough? Is this going to, what do we need to be ready and come March?
We'll need some more meat.
There's some chili in there. There's a bunch, it looks like some chicken.
Yeah.
Some ground beef. What is this, venison?
Yeah.
So this must be stew meat, or is that stew? No.
We could easily feed 100 people with the meat in this freezer alone.
Okay.
When you survive a disaster like this as a whole community, and you experience not only the pain of the flood, that was only the second disaster that we survived in 1 year. The disaster before that was the devastation of the rioting and the shootings and the killings. Like, that doesn't get addressed enough. One was man-made, and one was created by Mother Nature. So we were already psychologically and emotionally stripped bare when the water hit.
Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do bad things happen to anybody?
Just giving y'all a view of what we've been dealing with.
How many lives have been changed now? How many people have found a new joy? How many people have been helped that were hopeless? And the beauty of all of that and that healing, the beginning of that healing and that relationship building, none of that takes place without the flood.
Moving forward, it's going to be a long process, but I actually think this did some good. It did more bad than it did good, but the good thing that it did is it united us. It made us one again, with all the controversy that's going on in the United States right now. When this happened, nobody looked at somebody and looked at their color, looked at their race, looked at their sex, looked at where they was from. You was all a group of people trying to get the same thing done, and nothing else mattered.
These groups, this Cajun nation, it made me want to open the doors again. It made me want to go outside.
Ready? You think we can move this thing? Oh my God.
We're all guilty of shutting the doors and pretending like what's happening in the world isn't happening. But I'm just grateful to the Cajun nations for making me feel like I believe in my community and I want to be a part of it again. I don't ever want to go back in that box.